Hello and welcome back to another FPL Forbesy video. It's wonderful to have you with me here today. If you're new, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe, hit that like, as well as that notification bell so you know when we will be releasing our next video. Now today, I'm not going to be telling you who to bring in, which players you should be targeting for match day 5, i.e. the quarterfinals of the Euro Championship, but rather a look at options regarding numbers that you should be bringing in, and perhaps not heavily loading your team on the side with the greater odds. You might think I'm a bit crazy, but let me dive into it here with you so you understand it a little bit better. Come with me for the ride. So, specifically in this video, I'm going to be talking about those of you who have a wild card and might be thinking, who do I need to bring in? But before you think of the big hitters and loading up on the Italians or perhaps on the Danes or on the English, consider this for a moment. Regardless of the outcome, regardless of where you think or who you think will be winning their fixtures, let's look at some numbers. Now, on the left-hand side, we see Belgium versus Italy, Switzerland versus Spain, and on the right-hand side, we see Czech Republic versus Denmark, Ukraine versus England. Of course, you already know that, but look a little deeper at the numbers. My theory is to spread those transfers and players out, and here's why. If we had 2 Italians, 2 Belgium, 2 Swiss, 2 Spanish, and likewise on the right-hand side with all of the teams playing there, we would have a total of 16 players. Of course, we can only have 15. I'll dive in a little bit deeper into those numbers now. Regardless of the outcome, you will have 2 players coming through from the Belgium-Italy match. You should have at least 1 player coming through from the Switzerland team and 2 from the Spanish. The blue number, of course, we can only have 15. From the Czech Republic-Denmark game, we will have 2 players coming through. And likewise with the Ukraine-England game, regardless of who wins, we will have 2 players coming through. Now focus on the blue dots there, +2, and on the right-hand side, +2 as well, of course, on the left, previously. So, those blue boxes are our transfers, which equate, of course, to 4 transfers. Don't worry, I know we have 5. But what that means is that we will have at least 6 players from the fixtures on the left-hand side of the tournament and 6 players from the right-hand side of the tournament. Look, that's based on the number of 16. If we only had 1 Swiss player and they miraculously went through, we would at least then have 3 players. That's where that 5th transfer comes in. But as an overall vision of the numbers strategy, or theory rather, the red box tells us that we have 6 players from the left-hand side and of course 6 players from the right-hand side. The little orange box is our floating transfer. Now we use our brains. Ukraine and Switzerland are not favorites to go through. Therefore, we could have 1 Ukraine player or 1 Swiss player. You can choose whoever you think is better for your team. Then 4, it would be coming through as 5 and not 6, of course, and that's where you balance out the equation on both sides, leading you back to 6 players. I hope you're staying with me. Let's see what this means for the final. Now, because you spread out your transfers very wisely, haven't gone with the heavy favorites who, let's be honest, have been knocked out, and we see in football that it is unpredictable, which is why we love it actually. The unpredictability is amazing and is so exciting. But, sorry, I digress. With the transfers that we did between the quarterfinals and the semifinals, regardless of the outcome, you can see we have at best 3 players coming through from the left-hand side and 3 players coming through from the right-hand side. You will have to, of course, have that floating transfer depending on if Ukraine or Switzerland happen to go through. If they don't go through, then that's great because you still have the 2 England and the 2 Spanish players going through, no problem. So what that means for the end is that we have at least 6 players coming through from the semi-finals, regardless of who wins. We get those 5 transfers, remember, between the semi-finals and the finals. And luckily this maths is not too challenging for us. We go 5 plus 6, which equals that red box in the middle there of 11 players. That is regardless of who wins. And if we're honest, having 11 starting players would be ideal come the final. We can, of course, vary the numbers. You can go on the odds in the semi-finals as well, and of course the quarterfinals. I just wanted to share this theory with you to perhaps think about and consider, because if you, like me, and you had 5, 6, maybe even more players get eliminated in the round of 16 and you're taking hits, maybe this is something to consider. Maybe don't go heavy on those favorites. But if you found this video interesting, I'd appreciate that subscribe, that like, and of course that notification bell hitting or clicking or tapping. And until next time, bye-bye.